Good morning. 5:30 a.m. Houston time. Going out here for a little quick run here. Stuff in my job early in the morning. Salam alaikum, alaikum makwenda Sara, Kensami Alokutara con mucho más Jimenez. I actually like this time. It's one of the best times to drive. It's very quiet. Not many crazes in the street except for me. Had a good question. Good question was asked to me. And I spoke about this before, and I think it was about 2 years ago, a year and a half. The Maleko Makwenda Sara Jazz. I keep forgetting that you're in a different time zone. I'm like, what is she doing awake so early? The switching of energies. Okay. So a person sent me a message asking if it's possible that here I'm going to give you the scenario. You go with somebody who's getting a ceremony. In this case, let's call it an initiation, and you accompany this person. You're just there to give this person support. You have nothing to do with the ceremony. And then when you ask there and the ceremony is about to start, you are asked to participate in the ceremony. Now, will be asked for many reasons because the elder or the person performing the ceremony thinks that you might benefit from it or is trying to do something to help you. Not all the time is negative. Now, but there is a possibility of switching energies, okay? Or what we call switching karma. That they'll ask you to participate, and you're like, okay, let's go, let's do this, whatever, right? And they take the negative energy from someone else and give it to you and take away your luck and give it to a person. Now you might be like, how is that possible? It is possible. Trust me. It is very possible. Just like we could take away a lot of negativity, we could also give negativity. Okay? So it seems like this person went to a ceremony and he had or she had no business in there, decided to participate, and then after the ceremony, the person started having a lot of bad luck. The health started deteriorating. And a lot of times it's this. That's why we say if you have no business in that ceremony, then don't do it unless you're given a good explanation of why. Okay? Of why. Because a lot of times you'll pick up and it's not the person that's doing the ceremony. They have no probably have no understanding of this. That a lot of times when we are removing energy, that energy has to go somewhere. For example, a dark spirit, an obsessive spirit. When we remove it, it has to go somewhere else. And you might be the lucky one that the spirit decides to do it. Another thing is this: those doors open. That's and now we'll talk about in Ganga. The spirit of the pot will be like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Now you have to become a part of this practice, or at least do a ceremony because you saw a secret that you have no business seeing." And a lot of people are sneaky and they do that because then after that, The spirit is not requiring for that person to either initiate or go through a ceremony because they saw something that they should not have seen. I hope that makes sense. And that's why I talk about that I don't agree on initiating people and lining them up. You know, when people say, well, I had 5 initiations, and they line them up all next to each other. And especially in this tradition in regular conga, and they start cutting everybody at the same time. The same person, starts cutting them. It's like a factory, right? And they do the same cuts on everyone. Well, that doesn't. For me, that is not Quenda because everybody has a different spirituality, a different marking. Everybody's gonna go through everybody's ceremony is different. The only time I do that, I'm gonna give you an example. If it's 3 people that are getting initiated, one of them has is very sick. That person will go last. Now, if you have two people, or again 3 people that are okay, they have no sickness, and their issues is almost the same, then what I do is I do all 3 of them, the initiation of all 3 of them, but I have 3 different tatas doing the ceremony. That means me and 2 other tatas. Each of the person will get a different person giving them the ceremony, the scratching, and 3 different yayas. That's how I do it. But I don't line them up and start doing the ceremony by myself to all of them. I have to figure out first what is wrong with the person because I'm not gonna. Here, I'm gonna give you another example. They bring in a sick person, and then they also have a healthy person that they're gonna initiate, and a lot of people are gonna get upset with me because of what I'm gonna say or call this BS, right? They bring a healthy person and they bring a person who is sick, and then they share the energies to make to switch or take half of that health and give it to the other person till the other person feels healthy. But what's gonna happen with the person who is healthy? They're gonna start having health issues. Same thing. If you are financially okay and they have another person who does financially very bad, is financially bad, or is not doing financially well, and they have both of them together, they taking some of that luck from the other person and giving it to the person who is not doing financially well, and taking some of that luck from that person and giving it to the other one. So I hope you understand. This is not just it's look, guys. There's a lot of people out there that will take advantage of you, and that's why I say if you are gonna go and get initiated, it's preferably that you do it on your own, that there's no one else in that room, that there's no one there. Have a private ceremony that is just for you. Now, I do understand because there are some tratados of some engangas that they can only initiate at a certain day because that day they do all the feeding, they do a whole bunch of things, and that's the day that they chose. Some Ngangas can only initiate 3 times a year. There's secrets or tratados of why. So they try to get everyone together and say, on this day, you're all coming in, and we all gonna go and initiate you at the same time. Yes, I could initiate 3 people that night. but they're all gonna go through their initiation separately. Because after one is done, I have to clear the energy in that room, remove all the negativity in that room, and then get ready for the next one. Yes, it will take longer. You're gonna be there forever. That means the person doing the initiation, the tata and the yaya, but it's safer. Because a lot of people's like, oh no, let's line them up and we'll just get this done all at once. And they start calling them and doing the mumbles, doing the things that they have to do all at once because they just want to get it over with. And voila, you're done. You just initiated 5 people. I seen 15 people at a time lined up like they're in a freaking factory, and they get the same symbol, the same cut that the other 15 do. And I'm like, well, why do that? Everybody has an individual spirit. Their spirituality is different. Because I myself, I have to do a divination on where the cuts are gonna go and what signs they are. Because in Brahma con Brahma, we have a style. We have marks that we do that identifies the person that they're Brahma con Brahma. But we can switch them, play around with them. And some people might need a card in the left hand, the other one might not. Because we have to see where the issue is. And that's where we're going to have to make it stronger in that area. And yes, I understand some believe that in order for you to be part of the moon and soul, you have to have the same markings as everyone else does. But there's a logic to this. It is very simple. About, let me see, about 2 months, no, 3 months ago, we were doing an initiation because our initiations now is in the in Finda. We go up to the woods, and our initiation now is in the woods, right? Um, and there was this young lady there, and the other tata that brought the lady there was telling me a story, and I was like, well, she needs this and this and this and that and that and that. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't we just do it? This ceremony, let's do it while she's here, free of charge, because we do that when a person has health issues. That's why we have to shine, right? And we're already here. And then I started and I did a ceremony before everything with that person. She got her ceremony. Then we finished. We already in the field. All we had to do was clear the energy a little bit. We set everything into a normal initiation. But you see the difference? I didn't put them together. I didn't put them together because yes, Jasmine, not everybody's spirituality, not everybody has the same path. Not everyone has the same issues. Why are you getting initiated? Or why are you going through a certain ceremony? You have to ask questions. Why? And if the person that you're asking question gets upset because of the questions you're asking, you should not be letting that person touch you. Because if they themselves do not know why you need the initiation or ceremony, then they shouldn't be performing an initiation or ceremony on you. Okay? Because most of the time it's symbol. Symbol cuenta arriba en ganga. Okay? Uh, a lot of times, and I've seen this so many times, with young tatas or young yayas are all about, I just want to get godchildren, 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 godchildren. And they have about 1 year in the tradition where they're in Ganga, and they just want to go on their own and start cutting and doing ceremonies. And they're like, I don't care. I'm just going to use an excuse because I want a godchild. I need a godchild. I need to have somebody already in this in Ganga. And you might have nothing. And you come and it's like, okay, I gotta scratch you, blah 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 blah, and you forget to ask why. Ask, why do I need this? Why? And then if it makes sense to you and you feel comfortable, then do it. If you have that little thing in the back of your mind, you have to listen to your spirits. Because if they're telling you that you need initiation because you're very spiritual, then listen to your then spirits. If your spirit's like walk away, walk away. Doesn't mean that the person who's offering you this is bad. It's that no, that is not for you. Okay? That is not for you. Walk away. Unless they give you a very good explanation from A to Z, why do you need that? Some people come up to me and it's like, hey Tata, uh, I think I was scratched wrong. And the first question I ask is, what's your Ensila Congo? What's your Ensila Congo? And they have no idea of what I'm talking about. And I understand some of the houses don't use Ensila Congo. But then I ask them, what was the reason they told you that you needed to go through the initiation process? And the stories they give me, I'm like, it makes no sense because all they had to do was an ensara, a spiritual work, to remove whatever was wrong with you. A rompimiento, a simple rompimiento, which means a simple spiritual bath that they can perform. A simple rompimiento and enfinda to remove what you have. And I do understand some energies that a person might have is too much. That a simple rompimiento is not gonna work. And you might need two, you might need three, four spiritual baths. Um, Something simple like that. I mean, listen, it's early in the morning. I might not be making sense, but in my head, I think I am. Yeah. So all you might need is something so simple, but they're very good at selling what they want to sell you. If I see that a person is being attacked by the spirit, then I have to consult with my nganga and ask why. Why is that person being attacked? Where did they pick up that spirit? Where did they pick up that negative energy? It's that's why we have nganga. That's the reason why we have nganga is to ask that spirit what is going on with a person. And in reality, we are like spiritual doctors. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. And sometimes our what we say, we might be wrong. Not all the time are we gonna be 100% right. So it's always good. Just like you go to see a doctor, and this doctor tells you you have this and this and this, and you have this little thing in the back of your head, and you're like, nope, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm gonna go get a second. Um, I'm gonna go see another doctor to get a second opinion. It's the same thing. Go see another doctor. Go see another tata. Get yourself a second opinion. There has to be a level of trust between you and that spiritual house, between you and the person who you are allowing them to mess around with your spirituality, to change your spirituality, to move things around energetically, to move things around your body, um, to help you out. And doctors do make mistakes. So do we spiritual people. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. But that's why we have to keep asking. We have to keep asking. And I do understand tatas and I understand yayas. There's some people that do not take their time and they want to rush. You know how many times I get a call from a godchild? Tata, I am ready for my ganga. Tata, I am ready for my pot. And I'm like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. And we go back and forth until I get a little bit, you know, pissed off and I start talking to them. And I'm like, did you understand what I said? No, then you're not ready. And I'm like, escucha cuento que tata, yo mismo tata mbonda. And then I asked them, recite your emboa, your prayer. They don't even know it. And I asked them, what do we use this in Cunha for? They don't even know it. And I'm like, how do you expect to be able to control something that sometimes is uncontrollable within that receptacle? And if you don't know how to control it, it will control you because that spirit will do everything to overstep you and go above you. If you don't know how to control it, it's going to take over you. It's going to make you do things that you're not even aware that you're doing because you're not ready. You're not ready to possess an inganga. Now, I went from one topic to another topic. I'm notorious for doing that. Okay. But somebody here needs to hear this. That's why probably the spirit is talking. You're not ready to possess an inganga. When I know that the person is ready, the spirit comes and says, "Hey, this person is ready. It's time for her or him to get it." And a lot of times the God told us like, "No, I'm not ready." Those who are ready are the ones that always are like, "No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready, Tata. I'm not ready. I don't know what to do. I'm not ready." Right? And then you start asking them questions and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're ready. You're ready. It's time for you to get one." Okay, start. So, well, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk. That was a good question, and I hope I answer your question and that everything in your life gets better. I would definitely seek help to see what happened, why they asked you to participate in a ceremony you were not supposed to. You was just there to accompany a friend. You should have stayed in the living room, or you should, if this is done somewhere else, like in a finda, like we do, then you should have stayed in the car. There's no reason for you to participate in something that you don't need to. Okay. Well, anyway, salam alaikum, alaikum al condensada, and can con mucho más. You'll have a great rest